accreditation. And today we have NABL, which was started by him, got this accreditation, or the international peer review, international recognition of NABL is being done by Professor Dr. Tiwari. And after his retirement, we can see his enthusiasm, we can see his zeal. He has made a new body in India, which is known as FDAS. FDAS is having same accreditation, same peer evaluation, and same standard internationally as other accreditation bodies in the world. Very good, sir. We are actually obliged that we have very new and few more accreditation bodies in India. It is very much required because India is a vast country, and till now we could only cater the need of not more than 10,000 of the laboratories. I hope there must be more than 15 lakhs of the laboratories in India which are working either in the industry or in the laboratory. They are directly working the calibration at the testing. I am very much thankful to you, sir. You have accepted our request, and I think that I'll not take more time. We have with us our Honorable Shri B.N. Dikshit, Director Legal Methodology to the Government of India. Sir, thank you very much for accepting our request and be with us, for motivating us, for letting us know what to do and what not to do. Thank you very much, sir. You are the mentor and the guide for the legal methodology. Dikshit,
Thank
sir,
you,
would you
sir.
like to speak two words?
Very good morning, Sri Ashutosh ji,
Dikshit ji, namaskar.
Director Legal Metrology, Government of India.
Sir.
You are always appreciating your guest, whether who is the main speaker or myself or anybody else is there. Jai. This is very good job, Jai, that by appreciation people are motivated and speaks a lot of good things also. So that is the one of the advantage of your appreciation. So from my side also, I welcome Dr. D.S. Tiwari Saab, and I have met him many times in Krishi Bhavan and various other places. I was very happy that in Gurgaon he started his laboratories, and due to his blessing, many other people also is started to give the accreditation to other peoples also. Not doing only the accreditation of instrument, for giving accreditation to other people. So that is the name of Dr. D.S. Tiwari. So he is having the extraordinary knowledge in this very field. So I do not want to speak on this ISO IEC 17025, even though it is recognized at worldwide level. At YML, if you go there also it is discussed that what is the importance of ISO IEC 17025. So that's where this subject is also is having importance in the field of legal methodology. And today we have with us scientists like D.S. Tiwari Saab, who is having 80 years. That is a blessing for us. I wish from God, Lord Vishwanath ji from Kashi, that he should have more life and good health. And he provide this knowledge to the peoples, and the young peoples may be motivated. So I wish like that. I hope that Dr. Tiwari will give nice lecture today. With these very words, I thanks to Dr. Tiwari Sahab and Dr. Ashutosh Agarwal ji, Director Legal Methodology. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your kind and motivating words. For the accreditation in legal methodology, you are actually the brain behind that. So we cannot forget your hard work by which we could get the RSL Faridabad first of laboratory, which got this accreditation. Thank you very much. Sir, Professor Tiwari Saab, I know that I cannot speak because to say something about you, it is like to just show a lamp to the sun. You are of that level to which I cannot say anything. You are the ultimate for accreditation. Please, sir, over to you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good day, sir. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. सबसे पहले तो अग्रवाल जी का और दीक्षित जी का मैं अभिनंदन करते हुए शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि इन्होंने मेरे बारे में जो कुछ कहा उसका मैं अनुग्रहित हूँ। दूसरी चीज, दीक्षित जी के ऑफिस में मैं जा चुका हूँ पहले भी। अग्रवाल जी, आपको मेरा ये स्लाइड दिखाई दे रहा है?
सर अभी स्लाइड नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है।
तो ये कैसे दिखाई देगा? मेरे में दिख रहा है,
अभी
आपके में नहीं दिख।
sir, my request is if you kindly share it with me, I will start sharing it from my side, or my officer will start showing from our side. और
करवा
otherwise,
मैंने अपने ऑफिसर यार कंप्यूटर के ज्यादा मेरे को पता नहीं, मेरा फ्रेंड शेयर करवा रहा है, मेरा
yeah, he will do
कोलीग
that.
शेयर कर।
He will do that.
अब आया कुछ?
Not yet. You have to share the PPT.
मैं पूरा का पूरा भेज दूं क्या आपको?
हाँ मुझे भेज दीजिए सर. I will start immediately. If you now it is okay sir. Now it is okay. We can see your slides.
अब आ गया, आ गया?
जी आ गया आ गया.
फिर ठीक है, मैं इसको यहीं बैठाल के रखता हूँ, 1 घंटे की बात है, जिससे कोई प्रॉब्लम आए तो ये विल बी मेकिंग इट ऑल राइट।
प्लीज प्लीज सर प्लीज.
सबसे पहले तो मैं दीक्षित जी को धन्यवाद देता हूँ और आपको भी। उसके बाद में दीक्षित जी को याद दिलाता हूँ, उनसे मैं कई बार मिला हूँ, उनमें भी गया, एक को भी लेके गया था बहुत पहले, और अच्छी सी बातें हुई थी, और मीटिंगों में तो बहुत दफे मिले दीक्षित जी से।
जी सर.
क्योंकि जब गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने एक्रेडिटेशन प्रोग्राम चालू किया एनसीटीसी, उसमें सब लोग शामिल थे, जिसमें आपका डिपार्टमेंट भी शामिल था, और उन लोगों ने मिलकर कंट्रीब्यूट किया था। एनीवे, नाउ आई कम बैक टू टॉपिक।
सर
सबसे पहले तो आपने मेरे को बड़ा चैलेंजिंग जॉब दिया है, वो ये है कि मैं 1 घंटे में ही खत्म कर दूं सब कुछ। तो
सर
17,020,
आप एक नहीं 1.5 घंटा ले सकते हैं. आप 1.5 घंटे तक आराम से कीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. प्लीज.
ठीक। तो क्योंकि 17,025 में जो पढ़ाता हूँ 4 दिन तक पढ़ाता हूँ, अब यहाँ मेरे को 1 डेढ़ घंटे में खत्म करना है, तो मैंने केवल 15 स्लाइड रखी हैं अपने पास।
क्या बात है.
उनको इसलिए रखी हैं 15 स्लाइड कि मैं जो कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ वो कहूँ, और आई होप all the participants who are listening, they will get benefit. I have identified only one clause of 17,025, which is known as personal. So now, without wasting time, I go to the topic because I can. क्या दूसरा दिखाई दिया वहां पे? आ गया दूसरी स्लाइड?
यस सर, आ गया सर, आ गया. Contents of
contents of 17,025. Okay. Now, if I will draw the attention of all the listeners that 17,025 has actually means 1, 2, 3 is of no use. I mean, of course, they are useful, but for from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that means general requirement, structure requirement, process requirement, and management system requirement are the main clauses which are supposed to be implemented by a laboratory. And this standard is for testing laboratory, calibration laboratory, and for those who are involved in sampling. When this standard was being made, Agrawalji, when this standard was being made, they had included the definition of the laboratory also, sampling also. Then during the formation stage of this standard, I objected to this. I said sampling is not a laboratory. It is falls beyond the boundary line of the laboratory. I said laboratory is something which performs its activities within a boundary, and sampling has no boundary. Laboratory has a premises, sampling has no premises. And I said, if you have a laboratory, then there is an output from the laboratory in the form of the results. The product of the laboratory is results, testing results or calibration results. Whereas in sampling, there is no result. It is only an activity. Then they corrected that 17,025. They said sampling including testing. Then I told them it is already covered. But anyway, the standard is there before us. And I go to my next slide. Here, it is general requirement. General requirement, they teach about confidentiality and impartiality. In personal, then there is a resource requirement. In the resource requirement, the title is resource requirement. Resource requirement is having general and personal, faculty, facility and environment, equipment, metrology, and externally provided services. My talk will be limiting only to personal. I will not talk anything else. But as far as this slide is concerned, when we are talking general requirements, here it is general requirements. Here they are talking that about confidentiality and impartiality. So now I will limit my talk to personal. One thing more I would like to draw your attention. You see here I have written it is structural requirement. Structural requirement. In a structural requirement, it is a structure. So when you are making, suppose you are a building, in building you have got many things. Somewhere it is a toilet, somewhere kitchen, somewhere this staircase, something like that. Similarly, in a structural requirement, they are saying in what should be the laboratory. So they are talking many things. One of the thing is about personal. So what they are saying that's why I am talking about structural requirement here. I will be speaking little later about it. In structural requirement, they are talking about the personnel. In a laboratory, personnel have two types of. One, those who are executing the things, those who are performing the activities, and the other set of personnel is those who are checking whether the implementation of the procedure is there or not. That portion of personnel has been covered in structural requirement, and in resource requirement, personnel is a clause. In resource requirement, personnel is a clause. So I will be talking both these things in after some time, so in continuation. Now, in a structural requirement, he says personnel who, irrespective of other responsibilities, have the authority for implementation, maintenance, and improvement of the management system. Now, who should do it? I have written here technical manager. And if you see what is technical manager? What is the role of technical manager? To make you understand the role and responsibilities of the technical manager, I will take you to a factory. Suppose a factory is there, and that factory is meant to make 1,000 buckets per day. These steel buckets, galvanized buckets, which were earlier we were purchasing. I've taken that thing in mind. Now, there is a person who is called works manager. Works manager is in charge of everything in that establishment. What for everything? He is responsible that enough raw material should be there. He is responsible that all the machineries which are used to make the buckets are working in condition. He should ensure that the people who are working in the lab, they know their job. He should ensure everything he is responsible for. That even lubricant should be available for the machines, and when galvanizing section goes there, the people should do their job properly. all the arrangements should be there. That means if he is not able to make 1000 bucket as per the target of our capacity of that, then the management will ask him, what is happening in your factory? That is the situation. So now you come back to, that means he is responsible for everything. If a new person is recruited, that person's recruitment is also his responsibility, and he should train them. He should train them. Without training, he cannot put the job. He should have a system of training those people. Now, that is the requirement. Now I come back to laboratory. So technical manager is responsible for everything. That means the samples which are received, they are tested, the report is made, somebody signs the report, somebody takes the responsibility that these results are all right. And then he should have the management system, documented management system, which meets the requirement of 17,025. And for the scope in which laboratory is working, there are several test methods. Which test method should be selected for what type of activity? It is the responsibility of the technical manager. He is real boss. He is real boss. He is responsible for the laboratory. If n number of samples have come, n number of test reports should go there, go out of the laboratory. If the proper things are not done, then accumulation will take place. Samples which have not been tested, their number will increase, which is not good. Management will say what is happening. So this is the job of the technical manager. Now I take you again to the factory scenario. Most of the factories will have a person who is called quality manager. In the factories, in the industry, production units, they will have a quality manager. What is the job of that quality manager? He is the quality manager of the factory, not of the laboratory. That laboratory is equipped with the facility. That factory is equipped with the facility which is called laboratory, and somebody is heading that laboratory, and that fellow is given the designation of the quality manager. Now, what is the responsibility of the quality manager? He should do the testing of the raw material, say the steel which has come, whether it is of proper type or not. Then the buckets which are being made, they are proper type of or not. And whatever reports he will make, suppose the steel is not good, then works manager will not accept that steel. Because if he accepts that steel, then buckets will be made of wrong material, bad material. Those things, the job which is the person who is heading the laboratory is called the quality manager, but he is not the quality manager of the laboratory. He is the quality manager of the factory, because his main responsibility is to assess the production system. Now, in the laboratory, suppose there are 10 people are working, then in the laboratory, there is a person who is supposed to do the testing of these things. And in the laboratory, now I come back to our system for which 17,025 is there. If you see 17,025, 2017 version, they are not using the word quality manager. There is nowhere word which is known as quality manager. It is your choice, whatever designation you want to give. It is your choice, whatever designation you want to give. And then what is the role of that function? I will draw your attention to the just below. Implementation, maintenance, these are the responsibilities of the technical manager. If you want to give some other designation, you can give other designation. I have seen defense laboratories, they give the production units of defense, they give the designation of works manager. I have seen some sections where they give the designation of superintendent. In some places, they give the designation of general manager. In some places, they give the designation of director. It is your choice. Nobody is binding you. But for example, now, so if you are technical manager, you are responsible for implementation of your documented management system. People should work according to that. and maintenance of the document management system. That means if a document is required to be changed for any reason, then it should be changed. Then improvement, suppose you get some input, then you should do the improvement. Whether it is document or anything else, you should do that improvement. Maybe it is document, maybe it is training, maybe it is recruitment system. Whatever improvement is required, you have to do the repair. Then just below, identification of deviations. What does it mean? You should identify a person who is responsible for identification of the deviation. What is the deviation? Identification of the deviations. That means everybody who is working in the laboratory, they have been given a procedure. Their main job is to follow that procedure to complete their job. This is the general instruction to everybody. Including technical manager will follow his procedure and everybody will follow his procedure. If they are not following this procedure, then it is called deviation. Anybody, those who are on the shop floor testing, they have to follow their procedure. Then somebody should be made responsible for identification of the deviation and initiation of the actions to prevent deviations. You have to, so one person has to be identified. So when you do the internal audit in the laboratory, that is nothing but deviation. When you do the internal audit in a laboratory, this internal audit is a mechanism to find out which person has not followed the procedure. In other words, you have implemented a system of determining the deviations from the implementation of a procedure through internal audit. So that means if somebody is identified for this thing, you can designate him as a quality manager. Then he is supposed to, then comes initiation of actions to prevent deviations. Now, if deviations are happening, then actually this job will fall under the category of technical manager. That fellow will have to, if deviations are happening, so what action he will take? He will scold a person that why you are not following the procedure. Or if he is not having the resources, he will provide those resources so that the job can be done. Then comes reporting to the lab manager on the performance of the laboratory. If the laboratory is working where it is found that everybody is following their procedure, that means the laboratory is working very good. And if the laboratory's procedures are being deviated, NCs are being found, then all these things will be reported to management. This job becomes the quality manager, ensuring the effectiveness of the laboratory activities. These jobs are the responsibilities of the quality manager. Then lab management ensures that communication takes place on effective management of the system. Now the question is how to ensure that effective communication takes place. So for that, everybody should be given the document for doing their job. Everybody should be trained to understand that document that has been given to him. Simply giving document is not enough. He should be made to understand and he should be made to ensure that he has understood that thing. These are the things. Then last line is integrity of the management system is maintained even when changes are being made in the management system. Now, what is the integrity of the management system even when changes are being made in the management system? Or management goes into the hands of others. What do you mean by integrity of the management system is maintained? This is the question. This line should be understood by all the persons. Suppose a person who joins laboratory management as a technical manager or head of whatever, in whatever capacity, and he wants to change something and he has changed that thing. Now, if that change violates its obedience to 17,025, that means you have breached the integrity of 17,025. Integrity of the management system means, let us understand what is management system. What is management system? management system is documented. That is why it is called documented management system. Now, what you are supposed to do, whatever is written in 17,025, whatever is written in 17,025, a laboratory is required to implement that thing. A laboratory is required to abide by that. That is the requirement of the standard. That is why what you do, if you are required to do that thing, then what you will do, you will write down the procedures. You will write down something for which even procedure is not required. You will write down that in such a situation what you will do. So whatever is being written in including instructions, procedures and quality manual and whatever you are management system manual, whatever you write, that is complete thing, and plus the test methods based on your scope. This entire thing is called your documented management system. And the people who are working in the laboratory, they have been distributed these documents according to their job, which they are supposed to do. According to their job profile, what they are supposed to do, they have given, they are supposed to do that thing. So everybody is supposed to follow that thing. Now, if somebody is changing a document, then it is debating the integrity of the 17,025. Everything should satisfy the requirement of 17,025, which is written in the documented management system. Now I go to my core talk about personal. What is expected out of personal? What is expected out of laboratory to ensure that personnel are okay? Before I go on that, I would like to tell you that this version of 17,025, which is written, accepted in 2017. It is a document which has given a lot of authority to laboratories. It is not a prescriptive document. Earlier standard was prescriptive documents. 2005 version of, and even earlier document, they were prescriptive document. What is prescriptive document? Let us understand. In 2017, version 2005, they had written as a directive to the accreditation bodies that this is a generic document. 2005 version was generic document. 2017 version is not generic document. That it is a generic document and accreditation bodies are required to develop a specific criteria to tell a specific thing to the laboratories for abiding the norms. What does it mean? It means that the accreditation bodies were responsible for defining the, say, educational norms of the people. That the person should be MSc or BSc. The person who is signing the test report should have worked for 10 years. The person who is giving opinion interpretation should be this much. Like that, they were supposed to write for everything. Even for test methods, they will write something. So that was a prescriptive document. Where this document, they say, it is the responsibility of the laboratory. In earlier document, it was the accreditation bodies which are given the which used to give the permission for authorized signatory to the test report and calibration report. But this document has given this responsibility to the laboratory. You decide. Because what is laboratory? Laboratory is supposed to be managed by the people who know science. The people who know the science, they should also, they have only right to poke their nose. Those who don't know the science, they don't have the right to poke. So this standard believes that the laboratories are being managed by competent people. And what is competence? That has been described here. How to determine the competence? That has been described here. जरा इसको तुम इधर कर दो, इसे हटा सकते हो, ये वाली चीज काली वाली, बस हो गया, वो लोग हमें देख रहे होंगे, हाँ उसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं. Now I am going to tell you, he says, laboratory shall document competence requirement for each function that influence the results of the laboratory activities. Now I will stop here to explain you. Lab shall document competence requirements of each function influencing the results of the laboratory activities. Now I will stop here and say what do you mean by each function? Now I will take only three. There are many, but I will take only 3 steps. One step is function wise, the person who is doing the analysis, testing or calibration, who is on the shop floor doing the testing work. In chemical lab, they called it analyst. In calibration lab, they called it calibration engineer or technician. In testing lab also they call like that only. Testing engineer, testing technician or analyst or whatever they want to give the designation. My intention is to tell you the person who is doing the testing or calibration, whatever is. This is one function. Now, if I want to take the second function, then second function is of the supervisor. Supervisor, the person who can supervise the people to do their job. This is the second level. Each function I am talking, I have taken only 3, not more than that. Third thing is the person who is approving the test report and signing the test report. The results, when I say report, it means he is approving the results. That is why he is signing the report. These are the 3 functions I have taken. Now I will read this sentence. Lab shall document competence norms for each function influencing the results of the laboratory activities. So I have taken these 3 functions. Now I am going to take what is the competence norms. He says lab shall document. Now it is the responsibility of the lab, not the accreditation body. It is the responsibility of the laboratory, because this standard believes that laboratories are being managed by the people who know about the laboratory science and many other things about the laboratory. So that is why this standard says laboratory shall document competence norms. This is the instruction to the laboratory. It is not the instruction to the accreditation body. So laboratory shall document competence norms for each function influencing the results of the laboratory. आप आगे पढ़ेंगे, including requirements of education. How will you define competence norms? In terms of education, qualification, training, technical knowledge, skill, experience. Now, if I ask you, he says you should define the competence norms in terms of education, qualification, training, and technical knowledge. What do you understand by education? What is, when I keep quiet, that time I am giving you to think. I give you that I am not sitting in front of you so that I can ask you a question. I am giving you the time. What do you understand by education? Now, education means knowledge. In Hindi, it is called समझ. जो आदमी एनालिस्ट हो उसको क्या समझ होनी चाहिए उसे क्या नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, उसकी ये समझ होनी चाहिए कि उसे पता होना चाहिए यार पिपेट क्या होता है, ब्यूरेट क्या होता है, उसे पता होना चाहिए वेइंग बैलेंस, व्हाट इज वेइंग बैलेंस, he should know how to weigh, he should know what is milligram, what is gram, what is this, what is that, he should know about temperature, what should be the temperature, he should know about environment. If I use the word environment, he should know about the environment, that it is so many things. He should know if he is working in the chemistry lab, if it is a chemical lab, then he should know bloody chemical formula. He should know what is element, what is compound, what is sulfuric acid, what is nitric acid, what is benzene, what is... All these things he should know. This is called samaj. Now, where will you look this samaj? Where will you look this samaj? Then you will try to search the qualification. Do you think that this samaj will be enough, will be available in high school? Then many of you may say yes, many of you may say no. Do you think that will it be available in intermediate with science subjects? Many of you may say yes, many of you may say no. But if you say BSc in chemistry, then all of you will say yes, BSc in chemistry will do this thing. Then it becomes qualification. Then it becomes qualification. That means for that type of work, whatever knowledge is required, whatever education is required, that will be available if the person has done BSc. So what it says, lab shall document. Now you have to document. When you are going to requirement of education, then you will say you look for this under the title of education. Then for analyst, then you will write under the qualification, you will write for analyst I need BSc. Then do you think a college pass out boy who is having this kind of knowledge will be able to do your job? Then you will say no. What does it mean? That means after recruiting him, you have to give him in-house training. He should be made to learn. So if that fellow has been given enough training and you are satisfied that this fellow has learned that much which is required to complete this job, then only you will give him the job to do. Because now you are sure that he is competent to do that job. Now you are sure that this person will be able to do the job. Now the central idea here is to tell you that it is the responsibility of the laboratory to define the competence norms of its people. They may be working at any place, even they are helper in chemistry lab. You have to define all these things. Then I go to, so what I have said, the shop floor fellow who is doing the job of analyst or some calibration engineer, you have decided that in education what you are going to write, in qualification what you are going to write, and then training you are going to write. This I have explained you. Now I go to the supervisor. Do you think what should be added in addition to this to make a person supervisor? What should be added in addition to this to make a person supervisor? Then you will say, if a person is having three, because the job of the supervisor is to guide the people, to train him, to solve their problems, then you will say a supervisor can be made amongst those people who have done 5 years of service in the same kind of laboratory, or 3 years. It is your prerogative. You decide it. Standard has not given anything. This is the responsibility of the laboratory management to decide competence norms. You may say 3 years, somebody may say 5 years. For example, in my accreditation body, I have said that the person who has to be our assessor should be master's degree in science and technology, degree in engineering or master's in science, with 10 years of hands-on experience in working in laboratory. So this is our prerogative. ILAC is not saying that you decide it. I have given 10 years. Why I have given it 10 years? Because I want that person should have maturity also to become assessor. Similarly, you should see what number of years you can give to a person who can be supervisor. So, for supervisor, the education norms remain the same, qualification norms remain the same, and then you have added experience, say 5 years experience. Then that fellow can become supervisor. What job, what is this job has been done? This has been done by the laboratory, not by the accreditation body. Because this standard is demanding from you that you decide it. Now comes the person who is signing the test report. Who is signing the test report or calibration certificate. Now, in terms of education, what you are looking for him? Do you think that he should know pipette burette? No. The person who is signing the report, the minimum requirement in terms of education is that he should understand science behind the test. He should be capable to understand science behind the test. If he cannot understand science behind the test, then how can he become authorized signatory? This is education requirement number 1. Second education requirement is that he should know the technical limitations of the test method based on which the report has come to you for approving it or agreeing to the results. What is the education requirement? He should understand the science behind the test and he should know the technical limitations of the test method. This is the education requirement for the person who is signing the test report. Now, where from you will get it? You are sure that you will get it if that fellow is having master's degree in science or engineering bachelor's degree. That means you are writing in your paper that the person who has been authorized, in education requirement, he should understand the science behind the test, he should understand the technical limitations of the test method or calibration method. This is the educational requirement for the person who is going to be your authorized signatory. It is the laboratory who takes the decision that who will sign, not the accreditation body. But in case of FDS, if we are going to assess you, we'll see who has been, on what basis you have made this person authorized signatory. You should have written as required by this standard. So I have given you education requirement for authorized signatory. Then I have told you what kind of qualification you should have. Then in the qualification you will get, you are sure that you will get the knowledge of science behind the test. But where from understanding will come for understanding the technical limitations of the test method? It will come from experience. You can say if he has worked in the laboratory for 10 years or 5 years, whatever decision is yours, because real situation is known to you in your laboratory. You have to say that that person should have 10 years of experience. Now, suppose a person, results have come to that person for water testing. This water has come. And this water testing results are in front of him and he is supposed to sign it. Somebody has tested it. Results are in front of him. And he may be signing many reports per day. He is not supposed to sign blindly. He is supposed to see the results. And he should agree with those results. Suppose he is seeing the results. If he suppose he is seeing the results and he finds that amongst the results of this water, xylene is present up to 0.11 ppm. 0.01 ppm. What does it indicate? It indicates that if xylene is present in this water, then arsenic cannot be detected. So he will not sign that report. He will say how to remove this xylene. He will tell those fellows, he will tell them the other test method which should be followed. And he will not sign that report. That is why technical limitations of the test method has come over here. I hope I have told you enough about education, qualification, training. Now comes technical knowledge. What is technical knowledge? Here comes the technical knowledge. You know, this standard is a wonderful book. I like, though I was opposing this standard in ILAC meeting, but of course they did not listen to me at that time when I was opposing it, because I was also not well versed about it. But now I am well versed. I find that this is a wonderful standard, wonderful book, because he says technical knowledge. What is technical knowledge? A person who may be high school, who may not have gone to college, but he has worked in laboratory for 10 years. He is learning by way of his working daily. He has understood the situation and acquired the technical knowledge. So you can defend your person who may not have the proper qualification, but he has acquired technical knowledge. Technical knowledge. I'm not saying scientific knowledge, technical knowledge. What is technical knowledge? Performing activity in doing the things. Repeated work. So you can say that person is also qualified to do the job of analyst or up to supervisor. If he has not gone to university, then science behind the test he may not understand. That is why I say technical knowledge means this. Then skill, what is skill? You know, if you take a boy who has done BSc and put him in laboratory and give him the pipette, you ask him to take 5 cc, he will not be able to take 5 cc up to 6 months in one go. But after 6 months, he will be able to exactly take 5 cc. It will not be 5.2 or 4.8. It will be exactly. That is called skill. We will get that knowledge when he has worked in the laboratory for quite long time. And experience, all of you know, experience has no substitute. Experience gives a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. So this is what I wanted to speak about personal. Up components, competence requirement I hope I have made you understand competence requirement. How to define the competence requirement in terms of education, qualification, training, technical knowledge, skill and experience. Because it is your lab, you know the real world situations, how to, then each function in of the laboratory activities, qualification, technical knowledge, this I have already explained you. Anyway, I have already explained you education, qualification, training, technical knowledge, experience. Now comes here. Functions which influence the results. Analyst, calibration engineer, technician, supervisor, person who examines the results of testing or calibration. Now, what is educational? This is the just repetition. Knowledge, if you are a chemical lab, then educational requirements, knowledge of chemicals, molecules, molecular weight, gram, mole, acquaintances, volumetric devices, chemical lab, weight box, balance. This is educational requirement. For this educational requirement will come from this qualification. And then you cannot put him on the job. You need to give him training. Then only he will be able to do the job. Technical knowledge is gained by less qualified personnel by working as support for years and becomes educated becomes education as stated above, like 10th, 12th class. I hope I have explained you all these things in a very systematic manner. You will be quite clear what is the difference between education and qualification. Now, education, ability to lead his team, guide them, resolve problems, supervise, ensure. Here, this is the competence norms of the supervisor. Ability, education, ability to lead his team, guide them, resolve the problem, supervise, ensure availability of resources, and allocate the jobs. This I am talking about supervisor. Then his qualification is this, experience is this. It is the experience which develops the ability to guide and develop the ability to determine the job competent, job completed or being performed in a correct way. The years of experience are this. Then report approval. This I have told you, ability to understand science behind the test and calibration. Second thing, ability to understand technical limitations of the test calibration method. That qualification kind of understanding is this kind of understanding is expected with the university level of qualification in related field like MSc, B engineering. Experience kind of understanding will develop after long years of experience. This after long years of experience it will develop. This is nothing but repetition which I have already explained you. Then 624, the laboratory shall ensure that the personnel have the competence to perform laboratory activities for which they are responsible. Now this is saying that you should have the lab has now you have to say that your lab has identified competence norms as per the requirement for each. Now these, when you say the lab has identified, that means this job has to be done by you, Baba. This job has to be done by. And unfortunately, the consultants which are employed by the laboratory, they do not know themselves many things. And the poor laboratory will accept whatever they write in English, that's all. They will understand only if the English language is wrong, otherwise they will say, okay, but they do not know what they have written. So the laboratory should try to focus on its own laboratory and then develop all these things. The responsibilities to individuals assigned are communicated by ensuring the competence norms. If an individual is not competent, that he should not be given that job for which he is not competent. This has to be ensured by laboratory itself. It is the responsibility of the internal audit to determine the deviation from the defined competence norms. This I have told you. It is the responsibility of the internal auditor to determine the deviations from the defined competence norms. The found non-conformance work is addressed to ensure that. Then 625. क्या हो गया भाई?
Sir, you are not audible. Now we are not able to see you and your presentation also.
कितनी देर से?
Abhi 2 minutes, just 1 minute.
करो, मैं कर रहा हूँ ठीक. Thank you.
Please. Thank you, sir.
हाँ सेम ही. अभी हो गया क्या? अभी हो गया? Is it okay, Agrawal ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, do you think that I should go previous slide?
No, sir. This is okay. We were here only.
Okay.
Please.
Then in the clause of personal 625, this requires laboratory to have these 6 procedures. 1, determining the competence requirement, selection of personnel, training of personnel, supervision of personnel, authorization of personnel, monitoring competence of personnel. These are the 6 procedures which a laboratory must have. Then second is the standard requires laboratories to have the procedure of above. This I have already told you. Then the laboratory shall authorize personnel to perform specific laboratory activities, including but not limited to the following. Now I will like to explain you these terms: development, modification, verification, and validation. Are you listening, Agarwal Sahab? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Very well. Okay.
Then what is development? That is what I meant to say. Development, when standards are not available from standard writing institution and laboratory wants to test something, then they have no business but to test that item. Now, it is not desirable activity for every laboratory, but there are certain laboratories which require this activity. Suppose I am involved in developing a new product. It can be chemical molecule, or maybe I am developing a cycle. Now, if I have to test that cycle, which I have developed, then I have to develop the test method for that cycle also, or that molecule also. Because from nowhere in the world that kind of product is available, only I am. So in that situation, you are required to develop the test method. Now for that test method, laboratory should have a specific team. Then, and they should be deployed to develop that test method. Now, I will be taking your time, but let me tell you, I have seen research laboratories where they develop the new molecule. Now, suppose it is a 3-stage development of the new molecule. Then from A, suppose the first step A and B are mixed. Then you will get new products. Say Mn, you got the product Mn. But Mn are not the only, then A and B unreacted will also be present. But Mn are new product. So how to determine that what is M, what is Mn, and what is their composition? So that determination is done by the scientists. They develop the technique for determining what is its composition and how much it is there. That are developing. Suppose they have finalized a test method. Now they have to ensure that this test method works. So they will do the validation. The last sentence is their validation. They will do the validation of test method. So this portion is validation, development, and the last is coming validation. So it says that you should employ known person. So ordinarily this job is not in the common laboratory which we are working and which we are going there. It is not there. But what the laboratory do? Sometimes they will try to find out a shortcut. Suppose the test method requires that some item should be heated for 3 hours. They think that my laboratory works only for 3 hours. If I reduce the time for 2.5 hours or 2 hours, then instead of 3 sets, I will be able to do 4 sets of heating. So I will come down reduce the time for heating. But the moment you reduce the time of heating, you are violating the test methods of standard writing institution, because standard writing institution has written 3 hours. The moment you reduce that time, even by 5 minutes, it means you are not following the method which has been developed by standard writing institutions. That becomes non-standard method. And laboratory cannot use non-standard method. So what they do the validation of test method. So there are techniques for validation. If you satisfy those techniques of validation, then only you can use that test method. If you are not able to do that thing, then you cannot use that thing. This is one thing. Now comes modification. This I have already told you. When they reduce the time for heating, this is nothing but modification of the test method. Now verification. What is verification? Listen it very careful. Verification is a word which fits into many situations. But I will take here this situation. Suppose you have established a laboratory today and your scope is, say, dairy products testing, dairy products. And you have established the laboratory. You have selected the test method from standard writing institutions. You have equipments, you have trained personnel, because through advertisement you have taken the people with 10 years and 5 years experience and all that type of thing. Now, do you think that you will straightway start testing the product of a customer?
Kumar साहब का.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we are ready to have our respected speaker. All we.
आप लोग अपना स्पीकर बंद कर दो उधर का, इधर आवाज.
Because kind presence here at today's seminar. And the one, our
अग्रवाल जी हो गया क्या? Okay. I was speaking about verification. What is verification? Before you start testing an item for your customer, you should use your own item for which the results are known and subject it to testing. If the results are same which you desire, which was actually identified because they were known to you, then only your system is fit for undertaking the testing work for your customer. If you perform this activity, then it is called verification. And the laboratory should maintain the records of the verification for its entire scope. Point number 1. Point number 2, suppose your equipment had gone for maintenance and it has come back to you after repair. Then again you should try to subject customers testing only after you have done the verification. What is verification? You will test an item for which the results are known to you, and if the results are satisfactory, then you undertake testing for your customer. This is the verification. Then analysis of results, including a statement of conformity and opinion. That means what I am trying that what is the title? That laboratory shall authorize personnel for these activities. They will perform such activities, whether it is development, modification, verification, validation, and then analysis of results. Those who will do the analysis of results means whether the results are acceptable or not, including a statement of conformity and opinion interpretation. A product is conform to its specifications or not. That is including conformity and opinion. Then you have to give the opinion. Now, Agrawalji, when our NCTCF was working, then that program was made by.
Yes, sir. I am audible.
Yes, you are audible. I just took your name because I also want to ensure that people are listening. That's why. So Agrawalji, when we made NCTCF with the help of all the government department, in which your department also a contributor,
Sir.
The standards were made by us, by Indian experts.
Sir.
But when the government took the decision that laboratory activity is not a governmental function, it should be operated by an NGO or society, and they accepted formation of QCI and NABL and all that type of thing. Then of course QCI came in 1997, but we made transformation of NCTCF to NABL. That was my job. I made it at that time. So when I wrote down the criteria for accreditation of laboratory because I had been given the time limit. So on 30th July 1992, we were talking the specific criteria, I would say criteria for accreditation. So I was going point wise, one by one. On one point, the representative of BIS said that I do not agree with this. Because at that time, the ISO document was saying that laboratory will report the results only. They will not comment upon that. Laboratory will report as found. They are not supposed to comment upon that. So what BIS fellow was saying, what is the use of this line? Suppose you have tested a steel, and if you write percentage, and we are not able to communicate to the fellow that whether it is stainless steel or not, then what is the use of testing? He was not agreeing it. So I persuaded that fellow. At this point of time, we have been given the responsibility to go as per ISO IEC guideline. So please permit me, because government has already taken the decision to include this thing. He said, okay, if you want to do this thing, do. Agrawalji, then I went to Canada to attend ILAC meeting.
Sir.
I brought this thing to the notice of John Gilmore, who was the chairman of the ILAC.
Okay.
John Gilmore shrugged his shoulders. He said, Tiwari, whatever is there, that is there. We cannot do anything. We cannot improve upon it. You have to follow this thing.
Very good. Very good.
But when new standard came in 1999, the same thing was included, which I told there, which our BIS fellows were telling. And which is still there. That is why this thing is there. Analysis of results, including a statement of conformity and opinion and interpretation, which was not there. It was there in Indian-made documents. What I want to tell you, our own people, whatever they had made, it was having more perfection than the bloody ISO of at that time. This I want to convey to our people, that India has a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Similarly, in our system, there was no requirement of quality manual. And then the European expert group says that you are not following, you are not having quality manual. So when NABL was made, it was having the quality manual. Are you getting my point? In 1992 and in 17025, which was first version, came in 1999. Quality manual was there. Quality manual was there in 2005 version, and quality manual has been deleted from 2017 version. There is no requirement of quality manual, except that there is a system requirement of management system. Are you getting my point? So requirement of management system was there with us also, but we were not using the word quality manual, and these fellows have deleted the word quality manual. You will not find anywhere the word quality manual or quality manager in 17,025. You will not find anywhere, because quality word is a very confusing word. It misguides you. What is actually required is that if you have written a procedure, you should follow that thing. If you follow that thing, then you will give the right things. Anyway, then I go to the next. Laboratory, this is from clause 8. Laboratory shall establish policies, objectives, acknowledge and implemented validation. Acknowledged and implemented at all levels of laboratory. Then, Agrawalji, I have already told you, I wrote a book, this.
Yes.
On 17,025.
Yes, sir, that is a wonderful book. I have seen that, sir. It
is having 3 chapters. First chapter is only on explanation of the clauses. It is running into 158 pages. Then there is a management system manual. You can call it quality manual. It explains about every clause, how the laboratory is going to handle. And then there are 33 procedures. And you know, Mr. Agarwal, when I went to your place, you had told me that you should make the log sheets and these type of charts wherever it is required. This
Yes.
is because of your suggestion I had added there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Because you had told me that this will be very useful for the laboratories. How to record the things, how to log down the things.
Yes.
And all these things you will find clause-wise. Anywhere you will find.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, as far as I am concerned, I am open to discussion. Any question, if anybody wants to ask me, because as far as I am concerned, I have done it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your brief and very important and interesting discussion. I am aware you can speak on these 13 slides for 4 hours to explain the whole standard. This standard is in your, I think, breath and life, the accreditation. So because you have a lot of experience in India, we do not have any person who is so, experienced and having this much knowledge. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our request and delivering this talk. Sir, my request will be you kindly share this PPT with me so that I can share it with all the participants through my website. Anybody can download and anybody can read at